The following game has no ESRB rating, nor is there any sort of restrictive content warning or any sort of warning as to what may be in the game. From what I have played so far, it doesn't seem to have anything worrisome in terms of age-restrictive content. So if I were to guess, if it were to have an ESRB rating, I would say most likely it would be rated E for everyone. So following that guess, and having never completed the game, I can't say exactly the whole of it just from my experience, but I would say that anyone under the age of 6 should not be watching this video. You have been warned. Greetings and salutations. I am Outlier, and I bid you welcome to this channel. Joining me today is, of course, my usual co-hosts, Snowball and Wolf. And today we're returning back to Autonauts. No, this isn't the one with the submarine. No, at least as far as I know, I'm not going to build a submarine in this game. That's a different topic for a different time. Yeah, what she said. That is not that kind of joke. So anyway, the premise of this game is that you were sent to an uninhabited world by your people to colonize it for, well, your people. And you were sent to this planet alone and required to gather resources, build up infrastructure systems, and housing, and then rehydrate your colonists, because apparently they get sent as seeds. Not quite certain about that, but the game doesn't explain everything, but I further digress. And then just build it all up until eventually, near as I can tell, the colonists attain enlightenment, and I think you win. Well, it's one of those games that I'm not certain has a concrete end objective, because I like playing these types of games. Now, you can do every little aspect yourself. You can chop down every tree, build everything, maintain everything, but you don't have to. You can, in fact, build an entire army of robots to basically do all the work for you. And that's pretty much what I've done, as you'll shortly see. This game is, of course, made by... Thank you again. That being said, let us begin. Okay, so this is the colony. Well, what passes for the colony. I was going to say this is us, but I don't actually know where we are. Oh, there we are. Like, just click somewhere and see what moves. So, as I was saying, this is the colony. We have multiple industries up and running. We have the lumberjacks. Yeah, the lumberjacks. Just growing, harvesting, well, prepping the land, growing, harvesting, and maintaining a lumber yard to fuel, well, pretty much everything. We also have multiple agricultural industries in the form of the mushmen, which are growing and harvesting mushrooms. The berrymen, I think I call them. Yeah, berrymen, who go through and maintain and harvest berry bushes. I probably planted too many, but that's another issue for another time, and somebody's out of power again. I'll get to you eventually. It's a lot of eggs. No, we're not going to pick up the egg. Wind up this guy while you're here. And then we have our newest industry, the apple orchard, where they maintain and harvest apples, all to feed these three people, whom their lodgings have fallen apart, so I'm going to need to do something with that. In addition to those types of industries, I also have the Woodcutters Guild, which takes the logs, turns them into planks, takes the planks, and turns them into poles for various reasons. Then we also have the Stonecutters Guild, which just basically harvests stone to fuel everything. And we also have the Smith & Sons, which is a group of robots that build all the tools. And other spare parts that I may need for various things. So that's pretty... Oh, I also have the Caretakers, which feed and... Well, right now just feed the colonists. One guy doing research. And a couple robots just hauling stuff from point A to point B. And you're out of power. I also have a couple robots maintaining power levels of other robots. At least until they run out of power and then everybody else runs out of power. So there's that. So that's the gist in the nutshell. As I said, we just recently got apples growing. I probably should have somebody picking up apples. I probably should have extra storage for apples. But, yeah, so that's what I've done so far. In terms of plans I need to do, I need to complete the the pumpkin farm, well, farming vegetables, which is to scythe 20 pumpkins, plant 20 pumpkins, and store 20 pumpkins. Then I also have the science plan, which is to complete 12 research projects, of which I have 5 done with a 6th one currently working. Oh, and research requires something known as colonist love, which if you house and feed the colonists, they give you love, which is this little heart-shaped thing that just magically turns into stuff. I also have more advanced robots that I can build, but I haven't got around to building them yet. I also have a wardrobe I can build. So, first thing we need to worry about is we need more love to fuel the research, and in order to get love, we need colonists happy, and they can't be happy because, well, the ramshackle log shacks that I built for them are, well, broken. So, the easiest solution, well, the easiest and fast solution would be just to fix it myself. The long-term and technically the true easy solution is to build a robot to do that for me, which is what we're going to do. So this is our robot building place, and to build a robot, or at least a basic robot, we need a log. We have a log right here. We take the log, put it here. Logs are heavy. It takes a while. We also have tree seeds, which are basically acorns. Add that to that. We also need 1 pole, because I have absolutely no idea why. The recipe just says 1 pole. Put that there. We also need 3 planks, so we go over here. Grab 1, 2, 3. And then back over here. 1, 2, 3. So we have everything. We jump up and down. And suddenly we have a new robot. Which we then wind up. And then we take with us. Why am I taking the robot over here? Haven't the foggiest idea. I just feel like it. Okay, so now that we've dropped the robot off, to back up, take him over here where he's actually going to be doing his job. You see, that's the robot rewinding other robots. Once he runs out of power, no one else gets rewound. In which case, everybody else starts running out of power. So, now that he's down, we do this. Select him. I already had him selected, so it gets a new point. We hit record. So this is what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to grab a log. I'm going to take the log and put it here. Okay? So we change this to be 11 by 11, I believe. All search zones that I have are 11 by 11. And it looks like that it fits. I do have gathering zones which are 13 by 13 because industry, some of the border stuff likes falling out on the edge, and if I had it 13 by 13, which is the max size for the field, the gatherers wouldn't collect it. Otherwise I'd have multiple overlapping fields, and that just gets complicated. Okay, so there's that. Do that forever. Now go. And there we go. 1 house is built. And that's the wealth that the colonist produces. It's then gathered and dumped off over here. Which is then procured and dumped off over here. And then research continues. So now that we have a new robot, we should give him... D1 is the guy maintaining the property, so he's part of the caretakers now. Which is the group that designated Solar to maintain, well, the health and happiness of the colonists. For lack of a better term. Okay, so... I also have a couple other robots, just not part of any group. I believe these are the guys... Yeah, so these two are basically taking the berries and the mushrooms from their drop-off points here, taking them to here for the caretakers. And then this last guy is just basically dumping stuff off to, well, the research place. So I guess I should build this wardrobe and see what it's about. It's going to need 4 logs. I don't really need to take it from storage, even though I already did. And the lumberjacks are running low on power. Because I haven't built a second robot to recharge the other recharging robot. I think this is the recharging robot. Could be mistaken about that. Yep, he's the recharging robot. The rest of the team should be fine until he runs out of power again. Alright, so the apples are now filled. So I guess I should build a robot to haul the apples from here to there. Probably two, given the distance. But let me finish what I'm currently working on. I'm going to need, what, 4 poles? Yeah, 4 poles. Outside of logs, and I'm assuming very other large and heavy objects, you can carry up to at least 4 things. I have a backpack to store 1 item. It's going to need 8 planks. And we jump on that. And we have a wardrobe. Special storage units for your special storage for your special hats and tops. If you've seen the prior episodes, you've no doubt seen me complete various other plans. Every plan seems to have an extra hat and shirt attached to it. So as I complete them, I unlock them, so I'm able to dress up my Autonaut with various types of clothing. And other fun little things. So, here's that. And it's nighttime now. Not that that matters. Yeah, I may need another robot to actually plug the wall. I need to recharge this robot. I may need a robot to recharge the caretakers. I may have a robot to recharge the caretakers. I'm watching this guy do this then. Alright, so I have this blueprint for an extra crate here. I'm going to need 4 poles and 4 planks. Forgot to mention earlier, I could also build them 3 high, so it's not going to need 4 poles and 4 planks. It's going to need 4 poles and 4 planks for each box, so technically 12. Alright, so now that that's done, I'm going to use this one to store apples, which means I'm going to need 2 extra robots. One to take the apples from the apple farm and dump them here, and another caretaker robot to take the apples and feed them to the people. Because they're more advanced people now, and they require a more expansive diet. Okay, so you're out. Wind you up. One thought is to just simply wait until I build the second robot, but they're doing 2 different tasks, so you can just program them separately. So basically, you're going to go here. You're going to grab 4 apples. Don't really need to move the apple storage more than once. And then we're going to go over here and drop them off. Alright, so as you can see, every bot has a certain amount of storage for instructions. So if I had kept the move to apple storage 3 every time for take apple from storage 3, I would have had 3 extra commands, so it would be at -1 kilobyte free, which means this instruction can't occur because it's too complex for the robot's little brain. I have no idea why I said it like that. I guess for comedic purposes? Yeah, did I find that funny? Does it matter? So, since he's already going to be at Apple Storage 1 with the first one, we can remove all of those, and that gives us 2 kilobytes free. Enough for the Do Forever loop. Now go. That wasn't a rewinding bot, you're the rewinding bot. Alright, so now that they're getting apples, I'm going to need a robot to feed the apples to the people. Which means one more robot. Alright, and this is technically within the range of the Smith & Sons recharger. So he's going to town rewinding this robot. Pick him up, plop him over here. Just curious, but how does the caretakers programming work? Okay, so it's one at a time. Alright, so then, record. First thing you're going to do is go here and take a nap. Second thing you're going to do is go here and feed the apple to the person. Open this up. Make it 11 by 11. Up one. And we're good. Do that forever. Now go. Just looking at the colonists. Bup, Eon, Titoic, and Pizzelli. No, I did not choose the names. Alright, so now that that basic bit of infrastructure is out of the way, I'll probably add you to the caretakers, because you're a caretaker. There we are. Alright, so next thing we have to do is farm vegetables. So I'm going to need to scythe pumpkins, plant pumpkin seeds, and I'll store pumpkins. So we have this pumpkin right here. There's nothing we can do with it. Can't grab it, we can't drop anything off on top of it. I think if... Alright, I was going to say, there used to be a command that if I hold down something, it would actually tell me what commands I can do with it. I forget which button that is. Oh, it's Alt. Okay. Won't tell me about the pumpkin. So, I think if we go to the Autonautpedia, we have quite a few bit of plans that we can do. Well, what's colonization level 2? Need to house 10 colonists. And have them make 10 times WOV 100 times. So we need to make 1,000 WOV? I'm confused. But that's not for an issue for right now. So we have the farming pumpkin patch, which doesn't tell me what I need to do. And yes, based off of this research, it's going to get a rather complex game. For now, let's just settle with basic food and shacks. And that's calling the wooden lean-tos I've built for them kindly. So in order to get the pumpkins, I think I need the hoe, which is a crude blade plus a stick. I'm constantly running out of sticks because the only place I have that makes sticks is the lumberjack yard, and they're chopping down trees, and sticks is more of a secondary byproduct of the act of chopping down a tree. I believe if I really wanted sticks, I'm supposed to hit a tree with a wooden mallet. I mean, I could. Alright, so we may not get the pumpkins this time. Something tells me I'm going to be busy doing other things. The first thing we're going to need is a spade, because we're getting rid of these mushrooms. One of these days I'm going to remember off the top of my head which button I need to use for what. Alright, so now that they're out of the way, we're just going to clean up these mushrooms real quick. Maximum, just toss them in here. We're maxed out on berries, but not mushrooms. I wonder why that is. Alright, rewind you. And we're going to need yet another robot. I'm building another robot because I'm going to build another tree farm, but rather than have them logging like what they're doing here, they're just going to hit the trees to get sticks and the like. And in order to build that sort of thing, I need to clear out enough land to actually do that. And they can plant trees and other crops on dirt, but they can't on turf, which is what the green grass is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build, well, probably 2 robots, just simply because I can. And clearing off the turf is probably going to be one of the more labor-intensive aspects of this. But I'm going to have these build 2 robots. Take this. And we have them record, grab the spade, and go here. Alright, so we're going to set this to 11 by 11. Put it 1 square down. Ah, that actually just cuts off right at the bush. Okay, that's cool. And I'm leaving a gap between the 2 fields so that way the logs don't land on this field, because they got a whole bunch of logs just coming down. Do that until... we could have them do that until hands empty, but shovels don't last forever, so until hands empty, at which point there's the shovel. There. We go here and grab a new shovel. And then we do that forever. Now go. Alright, now because this will... oh, research is done. So we get carrot salad, sushi, so I'm not pronouncing that at all. Sashimi, some sort of herby pumpkin, herb mushrooms, spiced apples, spiced berries, watery porridge, and a crude mixing pot. So apparently, I can now make actual cookware. Yeah. Yeah, okay, let's worry about getting sticks first. How's about that? One thing at a time. Once I get the robots built and they start doing their thing, I can worry about moving on to a different task. Now, one thing that I am going to do, if the game will let me, is I'm going to move this here, move this up slightly. So that way I can have the sticks, the stick bin, be... You know what? How do I rotate? There we are. Rotate it this way. So that way I can use the same stick bin for both logging enterprises. So that way I can have one group of robot, well, as they gather sticks from the lumberjacks, they'll put them in here, and as the stick farm finds sticks, they go in here as well. That way I don't need to worry about two different storages, because the Smith & Sons people will only pull from one storage. It's a little bit more complex for their brains to check two, at least for now. Alright, so I'm basically going to have this guy do a duplicate of what the other one's doing. So it's basically the same thing. Go here, dig this up. Move the turf area to match. That, do forever, well, not do forever, do until hand's empty. At which point, you go grab a new shovel. And do that forever. Now go. So, twice the robots do the work in half the time, so long as they're charging. You know what, we're not going to charge that guy just yet. Nope, stop. Put you back. Because this team will also need a recharging robot, because the recharging robot for this lumberjack group will only work in an area from here to here. So while he'll recharge these robots and any robot probably on this line, won't recharge any robot down here. So we'll need yet another robot. No, that's a very good question. What's going to happen is once these robots have finished digging up all the turf, I'm going to cancel all their programming and reprogram them to dig holes. And once those holes are dug, well, in a similar fashion with these trees, then they're going to be programmed to plant the trees. And once that's done, they're going to be programmed to hit the trees with mallets to get sticks. In the meantime, you rewind this guy. Charged in. Now, because I want the rewinding robots to have the same range as the collection robots and other gatherers, to make certain that, well, they're going to have the same range because the gatherers could be on the edge, and if it's still an 11 by 11, the recharging robots would miss that. So it's basically find nearest robot in this 13 by 13 area, move to the discharged robot, and recharge the bot. Now go. And he's just going to sit there until somebody else winds down. I'm also going to need another robot. Well, I would say I would need another robot to gather the sticks, but I guess maybe I don't actually need two robots hitting the trees with mallets. So I guess one would have the mallet and the other would be gathering the sticks and putting them here. Once I get the stick supply sorted out, I can then focus on upgrading Smith & Sons to build scythes. Well, hoes, I guess. From there I can get pumpkins, and from pumpkins I can build a pumpkin farm to further feed the colonists. So why are their houses running low? And they're running low on food. Where is the... I guess he doesn't actually go and fix the hut until it falls into disrepair. It seems silly, but okay. Rewind you. And I actually don't have anything else to research right now. Can upgrade it. Requires 1 log, 3 poles, and 4 stones. So I'm just going to do that. And that'll probably get me the level 2 research options. I need 3 poles, not 3 planks. And then 4 stones. I got plenty of stones. In fact, I probably don't even need to hit the storage for stones. I can just take them off pick them up off the ground. And research has now been upgraded. So yeah, I now have access to power technology, robotics technology, plant breeding, construction technology, more construction technology, shelter technology. Again, more construction technology, farming technology, masonry technology, even more construction technology, pottery technology, cooking technology, more cooking technology, even more construction technology. Oh, this one's machining parts, and then clothing technology, because apparently the colonists are butt naked. Alright, so I guess we should start with power technology, which is 1 stick. So how research technically works, I'm not certain if I actually mentioned this before, but you basically take the thing you need to research, plop it off over here, and I didn't actually tell it to research anything, so that's not going to work. So first thing we do is pick a research project, in this case the stick, take the stick, put the stick over here, and then we basically gather enough wood to finish the research project. I currently have a robot doing that, so I don't need to do that personally. Yeah, so since this robot, which was part of the original Lumberjack team, ran out of power here, the recharging robot for the new team, which I haven't actually fully named yet, was able to recharge it. And that's what I'm looking for with that. So now they're still working on that, I should probably focus... Well, let's make the crude backpack upgrade. I'm not quite certain what it does. We'll find out. I actually need 5 planks, so... And then 2 poles. And that gets me a backpack. I have no idea what I'm going to do with the backpack. I thought maybe it would give me more upgrade slot. Oh, it actually does. I just have to drag it over there. So now I have 2 upgrade slots, so I can actually take 2 pieces of equipment. Okay. So I'm guessing... Can I put a second backpack on? I'm guessing no, but... Means I don't have to run over here to change equipment. Yeah, that's not an upgrade for me. Okay. Get rid of these flowers because it's in the way of the field. I'm sure there's a better way to actually handle the flowers, but watch it be a one type of flower that I can't find anywhere else. Let's go over here just to see what's over here. Not much. Now see, I could probably actually have gone over here, which is, you know, mostly dirt anyway. You know, and just used this chunk, but it's actually further away than I would like. Well, it's not the only flower of that kind. Alright. So as I was saying, I need, I'm guessing, a hoe for the pumpkins. So... I need a crude blade and a stick. Crude blade requires 2 stone. Do I have anybody making crude blades? No, we do not. So I'm actually going to need 2 robots to increase smithing stones with, just to make the hoe. I should probably actually redesign the whole of smithing stones because it's getting rather cramped in here. Put that there. Grab a stick, which I'm actually running slightly low on. Alright, so let's see if this is what we need. Put the shovel down for a minute. Oh look, more sticks. Alright, so I actually can't use the hoe with the pumpkin. But the wheat. No? Okay then. Wrong tool. Alright, so... Okay. So you don't use the hoe, you use the hammer. Right? I'd way to harvest pumpkins, but who might have complained? Did the chicken just migrate from up here to down there? Interesting. No, that's not actually how you harvest pumpkins. It's probably how you process the pumpkins. What about the shovel? Nope. No, that's not what you use. That's not how you get pumpkins. So how do you get pumpkins? It'd be helpful if I was actually looking at pumpkins as opposed to just pumpkin chunks. View. Maybe I do need the scythe. And I was looking at the metal scythe and didn't see the crude scythe. So let me try that. I am, however, going to need another crude blade. So 2 more rocks. And here we are, crude scythe. Get another stick. Alright, so let's try this. Yeah, there we go. Put the shovel down for a minute. And that's a pumpkin. I'm guessing we take the pumpkin, hit it with a mallet, and that gets us raw pumpkin and pumpkin seeds. So look, it actually gives us 2 seeds and a raw pumpkin. And I probably should not have dropped off the shovel. Something tells me to plant the pumpkin, I need to dig a hole. Then grab the pumpkin seeds and plant them back down. And plant them back down. Yep, that is how we grow pumpkins. Yeah, it even said pumpkin scythed. Really should have read the objectives better. Well, on the side note, they are actually done. Where'd all the turf go? It's actually despawning. Interesting. I guess if I don't bother to pick it up, it just disappears. Alright, well, I have no idea if I actually need the turf for anything, so I'm just gonna pile it all down over here. What little is left of it, I should say. I mean, I do have 2 storehouses for it, but this one's full and that one's practically full, and I don't feel like building a third, so... Random pile over here it is. Yeah, I guess piles would be a better term. And it's raining again. Goody. I maxed out on tree seeds, which is probably a good thing. Because I'm going to be planting trees. Yeah, so I guess it only despawns if I don't bother to pick it up. Because this stuff has been sitting here since the 2nd episode. And the stuff that was despawning was newer than, well, this stuff. Okay, so, robot. Robot. You. I'm going to have you stop. I'm going to have you record. Get rid of that. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over here. We're going to dig. Alright, and so since this loop is already set up, we'll move everything into here, and we're going to adjust the size to be 11 by 11 again, because you can't just change what the space is looking for, and rather than being full, we're going to have it match the lumber yards, so we're going to set it to alternating. So he's only going to dig in these squares. Technically, I could have actually just have them dig out those squares. Could probably have filled in the rest, but it looks like that's where the chicken eats, so... free eggs. Alright, so go find nearest soil in these spots, move to soil, use held item, and that hasn't changed, so go. Alright, and so he should start building. Well, digging. Stop. You gotta remember, with the held item, it's left click to use the item, right click to drop it off. So you, on the other hand, we are going to have you stop. You are going to drop everything. And, we're actually going to get rid of the outer loop. Because for right now, he doesn't actually need any tools. So what we're going to do is have you go over here, pick up a tree seed. We're going to have you plant it. And so then we're going to move all of this stuff to here, and we're going to match this area. Although we're also just in case random stuff happens. Set it to alternating just in case. Now go. Then we're going to pick up the spade because he no longer needs it. And, wow, it's almost destroyed. I'll put it back. I'm sure someone will eventually use it. That, or it'll reset its wear and tear. So, we're going to have them do that until, well, all the trees are planted, technically grown. In the meantime, where do I want the pumpkins? Well, I guess here's the next biggest spot. Although pumpkins are going to be a little bit more complex than like things like berries and mushrooms, because the berries just simply, you know, you carve out a field, dig up holes, plant the berries, and then you just have them recycle between the berry bushes, growing bushes. You harvest the berries, collect berries, so forth and so on. You're on charts. We're going to rewind you. Mushrooms are a little bit more complex than that because, well, apples share the same with bushes because they're regrowables. Mushrooms are a little bit more complex because mushrooms don't regrow once harvested, so you have to... I guess the hole's already there? Is it? No, I guess not, because I actually do have somebody digging a new hole. So, once the mushroom's harvested, they gotta dig a new hole, somebody's gotta plant the mushroom, it's gotta regrow where it gets reharvested. Pumpkins, on the other hand, by the looks of it, you need to grow them, you need to scythe them, you need to take them somewhere else, you need to hit them with a mallet, which separates the seed from the actual fruit, and then you need to store the fruit and use the seeds to grow more pumpkins. Also probably dig the holes for more seeds. So on that note, again, where do I want the pumpkins? Because not only do I have to get the pumpkin, do I have to have, I guess, growing area for the pumpkins and a prep area for the pumpkins. I also need some place to store the food, some place to get it over here, well, store it over here to feed the people. Thought maybe there's a way to rotate the camera. There probably is, I just can't remember it. Because like so many things, I just plain old forget. And it's nighttime again. So, where do I want the pumpkin field? I would say close to the colonists, but then again, the apples aren't really all that close. I do have this chunk of space right here, so I'm thinking right here, actually. So, for that, we shall need, of course, 2 more robots, because why not? Actually, yes, I do have access to better robots. I just haven't bothered to build any. I'll probably build the better robots when I need to upgrade Smith & Sons, which will probably be after I start the pumpkin field. Because the pumpkins require scything, so I'm going to need somebody to make the scythes. Also somebody to make the crude blades. And since I seem to be running low on space for Smith & Sons, when I reorganized Smith & Sons, because I suddenly thought, you know, it is centrally located to everywhere, you know, I'll upgrade the robots then. Right, new robot. I'll put you here. Grab a shovel. Hand to you. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to take our shovel. And we are going to dig right here. Going to do that until hands are empty. Then we're going to go and grab a new shovel. Going to do that forever. And ever, and ever, and ever. Big question, where do I want the field? I'm thinking actually right here. Nice big old chunk of space. Yeah, that looks like a good idea. Of course, now the question is, do I want the pumpkin, like a pumpkin in every spot? what I wanted alternating. Kind of like the pumpkins in every spot, so that's what we're going to do. Now go! Alright, now to make turf digger number 2. Are there 2 things of turf there? There actually are 2 things of turf there. Alright, the shuffle back. Build yet another robot. Now, I probably don't need... If they're just hitting trees to get sticks... Actually, I don't know if they're going to break the trees for that. But if they're not going to break the trees, I probably don't need this big of a field for trees. But I usually misjudge the size of stuff that I need, so I will. Also going to need another rewinding bot for these guys, so there's that. Alright, so again, nope, wrong one. Gonna dig right here. Now, I actually have no idea what the size of this other one's field is going to be. So, your robot... Okay, so it's 1 square away from here and 2 south of this. Alright. Alright, because apparently he forgot what he was going to do, so we'll just reset this. Make it 11 by 11 again. Let's do that. Yeah, it should be the same. Yes. Do forever. Well, do until hands empty. And go get a new shovel. Do that forever. Now go. Yeah, that looks like to be the same size field. Okay. I'm going to need a robot to recharge those 2, which means another robot. Yay! Who saw that coming? And once again, hands full with the spade. Of course, I was going to say, of course, the problem is there's no one to recharge, but that guy's now out of juice, so perfect timing. Alright, so we call forward you, come over here, rewind this guy. Do that forever, but change it so it's a 13 by 13 area. So match with that, and 1 square of that, so it should be 1 overlapping square around everything, which, if this is the edges of the field, would match. Where's that one dug up? And go. Weird. Well, it's not like I don't have turf to spare. Put you back down there. And they can start working on that. And, unplanned timing, but still pretty good. These guys are now done. So, we have... Okay, so I'm going to have you stop. I'm going to have you empty your hands. You know what? The other one, this one. I'm going to have you stop. I'm going to have you empty your hands. I'm going to pick you up and take you over here. Just so I can see better. And we're going to grab a hammer. you. You know what? Keep the shovel, I'll drop the spade. Something tells me I'm not actually going to get to the pumpkin field just yet. So what I really want to see is what happens when we hit the tree with a hammer. Get the tree seed. About this one. More tree seeds. Oh, there's a stick. Okay, I guess that works. So I guess one way to explode all the tree seeds. I'm gonna have to move the tree seed storage, aren't I? Alright. That there. This means I have to walk further whenever I want to build new robots. Okay, so you. Here's what we're going to do. I do like his repeat area, so we're just going to get rid of everything here. What we're going to have you do is you're going to take your hammer, you're going to hit a tree. Of course, I did just remember the zone changes. But the field was already set up, so I just don't, so I don't really need to measure it. I guess I can't set it to alternating. I guess that only works for certain things. So move to tree, use held item, and once that's empty, you go over here and pick up a new mallet. Not close enough. Now go. As for the other one, every cord. I'm gonna get rid of all of this. I'm gonna have you come here. I did that wrong, so. Find nearest tree seed in. Make this a 13 by 13 area. Move everything so it's in the loop. And then drop off the tree seeds here. And go. Yeah. He's just welling away on the same tree. I don't actually need an entire field for this. Okay then. I'll keep the trees here just in case. But in the meantime, I will need another robot. Because while this one's gathering up all the tree seeds, I'm going to need one to pick up the sticks. So now that I think about it, if he's just going to wail on one type of tree, now if I put it in here, the lumberjack's just going to chop it down. Although, wait until the trees are full. Where's the lumberjack robot? Stop for a minute. Because I have a ridiculously large pile of logs, and I do mean a ridiculously large pile of logs, I can stand just having him just sit back and take a nap for a minute. Yeah, the tree seeds are actually at maximum for right now. I'm going to do also is stop you and stop you for a minute. And these guys are actually about halfway done. You know what? Because I don't know if I need turf or not, I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have you pick up all the spare turf. Pick it up 4 times. Yeah, he's already filled. So I guess I don't need... You know what's going to happen if I do it this way? Yeah, he's just gonna move one at a time. Alright, stop. Record. Get rid of all of these. And then play. Just gonna grab one at a time, then I don't really need him to grab more than one. Saves on memory storage, I guess. So, wait until he makes another massive stockpile of that. And once all the stumps are dug up and new trees are planted, I'll wait until they're fully grown, and then see how long it takes for the woodcutter to actually chop it all down. Because if it's like the mushrooms where I have all the robots unpowered, where I have a massive surplus of fully grown mushrooms, what I can do is just have the whacking robot. That feels like it came out wrong. I don't think it did though. Just whack the spare trees, and as it gets chopped down, he just moves on to another one. Then I don't need 2 robots gathering 2 things of tree seeds and the thing of sticks. So I would actually have arguably 3 spare robots, because second recharging robot wouldn't technically be needed. Although I could just have it here in case, you know, the other recharging robot powers out, what have you. Might add the lumberjacks being slightly more self-sufficient. And then I don't need this field, which I can then use for, well, something else. I may even put the pumpkins here, which means I wouldn't need these guys. I guess I don't really technically need a prepping station for the pumpkins. I could just have a robot just smack the pumpkins right there. Have somebody gather the seeds and the spare raw pumpkins chunks, and then just replant the seeds. Should probably also get rid of this apple tree. I mean, it is technically in the way. There's my axe. There's the axe. Shovel this thing up. Grab a new shovel because mine just broke. Hope they don't actually plant anything there. There, now I don't have any sort of random thing going on. Toss the apple in this thing. So why are the apples empty? But something tells me the team hull in the fruit is probably powered down again. Where is... Yeah, he's actually offline. Over by the apple field. It's the problem with the guys hauling stuff to and fro. There isn't that set an area. So if they recharge outside of the area, although why the recharger didn't recharge that one, probably because that was the recharger powered down right next to it. Alright, so all the... Now it'll help them out a little bit. I'll plant those 2 trees myself. We'll go grab a tree seed and plant this one. Alright, now that that's fully grown, we'll have you continue. Of course, he's actually low on power, but the recharging robot should be able to re-power him. Oh, there was another spot right there I missed. Interesting. Oh, this guy's in the way, so... Alright, so I think it's actually taking him longer to build this, to dig up the stumps. That was hard to look at, I'm sorry. Than it is to chop the tree down. I'm looking at it, there used to be 1 extra stump, now there's 2 extra stumps. Then there was 2 extra stumps, and now there's 3 extra stumps. Well, sort of. This doesn't help he's running out of power, which means he's moving slowly now. We'll make it work. Okay, so... Where's the guy with the hammer? Here we are. Record. Find nearest tree in. And we're actually going to move that over to here. Now go. Where's the guy collecting the tree seeds? Let's go with the hammer. Alright, so he is hammering things. As I said, we'll see how it goes. Worst case, they manage to go back to chopping everything down, and well, I have them stop. So I guess I technically don't need these 2 because one guy will always be picking up sticks, the other one will always be picking up tree seeds, so I guess I don't really need to have these here anymore. Put you... He's actually standing where it used to be. I'll put the tree seed one here. And the stick one here. Yeah, so hopefully that'll increase the supply of sticks. And he broke his melon. I am seeing more stumps now than I used to. So we'll going to actually have you do... We're going to help him. So... What we're going to do is give you a spade. Stop. Not doing any of that. Go away. Okay, now that he has a spade, stump. And you can't be alternating, okay. So we're getting rid of this. And so, find nearest tree stump in area, move to tree stump, use spade. Do until end's empty. And then move to crude spade storage and take a crude spade. Do that forever. Now go. Here's what the other one's doing, right? Oh no, the other one says soil. I mean, it still works. Yes, the other one just simply has a different area to work with, so. Okay. And we'll see if the tree seed guy can keep up with, well, now twice as many holes. I feel like that's also inappropriate. It's not that type of game. Oh, but these guys are done. Yeah, I think I stacked that a little bit too high. Just a hunch. Well, I had him stack that a little bit too high, just feeling. In the meantime, is this recharger now? Yeah. We're going to move this area. Stop. Record. This area gets moved up here. Then go. That way, this recharger can help, well, recharge the lumberjacks. And since these guys are technically no longer a separate team, they now get put to the lumberjacks. And we're just going to have them be a separate team and call them Lumberjack 2, but... I mean, if I don't need a second field, I probably don't need a second team. So it all works out in the end. Okay, so now that that little bit of troubleshooting is out of the way, I still have a ridiculously large number of tree seeds that I don't really need anymore. Alright, so... here we go again. Everybody's not powered. Who's the recharging robot here? Not you. Is it you? Nope, probably you then. Yeah, there you are. For now, we'll see if two recharging robots are actually able to recharge each other, or if they're just going to run out of power at the exact same time. I also want to see if the recharger will charge this guy. He's technically not part of the team, but he is in the search area. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alright, so now that they chopped down the tree that the guy was whacking on, was hammering for sticks and the like. I actually have more sticks now. I guess he moved on to... Where did he go, actually? I just moved to this tree. Okay. I mean, it kind of looks like the planter's keeping up. I'm not seeing a gaping pile of empty space. There's this spare one. So I'll just plant that for him. Alright, well, so that works. So I guess now all I gotta do is build a pumpkin field. Of course, that's, well, another issue for another day, because I'm calling it here. Everybody stay safe from the plague, and have a good day.